Welcome everyone to episode 3 of Katawa Shoujo. I say it different every single time, I think. My name is Burning Oil. Last episode we were we were cordially invited, though kind of forced, into the school council by Misha, and yeah, it was a bit weird because they kind of forced me into it. There was no literature club, unfortunately, which sucks. But yeah, then we had we ended the episode where Misha just burst through the classroom door, and the girl with the scarred face, who's super cute, she like hid behind a table or desk, I think, when she did that. So I don't think she's a lover of big grand gestures like that. But anyway, let's get straight back into it. See where this crazy game's gonna lead us. Oh shit! I didn't mean to sit. No. Load. Yes. There we go. We don't want to start new. During afternoon classes, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in a seat without a word. Right, yeah, because she left and then she came back. Right. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be so nosy. Don't be too nosy. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. You guys, man, I feel a little offended, but I'd been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on their guard. What's the escort? What's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to his cell. What's wrong, Hee-chan? That's right, we're just going to play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha. This all sounds a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when we sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just seems like it would be so plausible. Dude, anything's possible after Doki Doki. Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Hee-chan. Shi-chan says that when life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression unchanging, Misha signs something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. I don't know what that was meant to be. Misha feigns deafness. Oh, okay, I did do it right. And hums cheerily. Stop that. I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center surrounded by chairs and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side as well. Extras, perhaps? Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer, just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could at least put a potted plant in here or something, but the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No? What do you mean no? Does it mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. Oh god, did she clap? Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Hee-chan, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain it to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics of a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. But she's so angry. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from two fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. I don't drum on the table, you know, when I get, like, anxious or whatever, I do this thing with my hands. I do this. I like pop my knuckles for some reason, like, well, not pop my knuckles would be like that, but if some reason I do this, does anyone else do this? Just like wrapping your fingers across the, like, between the fingers, your own fingers, when they're like in a fist. Maybe it's just me, I'm weird. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from two fronts, she breaks my concentration. I'm going to be like, yes. Hichan, Shichan wants you to know that you are taking too long to make a move. Shichan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. Shichan admires your fighting spirit and will be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. You're so competitive, Shizune. Seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. Magnanimous? She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index fingers against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Okay, that's cool. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Wait, please slow down. Shichan says you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Yes, we will. Okay. Those eyes of hers shine with childlike mischief. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. She has a point. Act aggressively. I don't know what we're doing in this game. You can't just put these choices in front of me because they're not really a choice. I don't know the full context here. It's a trap. It's smart to play defensive. She has a point. Attack aggressively. Shizune, what have we learned about Shizune so far? Right, she's very competitive. She doesn't like it when you don't listen to her. Okay, so okay, we'll listen to her. This is one time. She could be tricking us, but it'll give us an idea of what kind of person she is. She's either really mocking me or trying to trick me. I have nothing else to lose, though, so I might as well try something different. Maybe if I spread out my forces and try to control more territories, I can recoup the advantage. Shizune seems to focus on conquering whole nations, so maybe I can sacrifice my hold on continents to gain more small countries. It's worth a shot. A few turns later, I end up losing the game anyway. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. I win! Yay! There's no need to translate that, it was pretty clear. Don't look so mad, Hichan. You were really giving your best, that's what I thought. Sometimes your best just isn't good enough, though. If anyone knows that, it's me. You did very well for someone who just learned how to play today. Hichan, you attacked Iceland and North America at the same time. That's a very daring move. Shichan is impressed. The mark of great people is that they are daring and that they can follow through. You're already halfway there. Isn't that great, Hichan? That isn't enough, though. Just potential isn't enough. There is no point to potential if you don't take the first step. There is no point to that if you don't keep going. I want to see more. Okay. You're right, Shichan, But that's so demanding. Oh god. Whoa, she's going closer. Shizune leans forward, suddenly looking a lot less playful and more like the serious person I expected to be from the start. At least she doesn't look JPEG like they do in Doki Doki when they get closer. Hee-chan, would you like to join the student council? She really doesn't waste any time, does she? But it's only my second day of school, so I'm hesitant about committing to something so early. I haven't even taken a look at any other clubs yet. But spending time with Shizune and Misha doesn't seem like something I would hate. I still need more time to think about it before I decide for sure. Maybe I'll get back to you on it. Okay, Hee-chan, but I hope you're just not saying that so we don't feel bad. No, really? Really? Hee-chan, if you're going to say that, you're saying that it's definitely the truth, and there can't be any mistaking it. I know, I guess I should have my revenge for losing at the very least. That face though, what the... Judy smiles at that in a mischievous way that feels like twisting the knife in the wound of my loss. I take a glance at the clock on the wall. There isn't a clock on these walls. And realise I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Hishi-chan. We think the library is open. It's on the second floor. You can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No, thanks. It's okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye. One flight of stairs up and I run into problems. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there is a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I pat on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though, just barely ajar so that I can see it's open and nothing else. It would make sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for directions, no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to the school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I'd anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head ever further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek "hello" on my lips is quickly snatched away. Whoa. Hello. Lady. This is not what I was expecting. I honestly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure taking centre stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway, staring at a beautiful girl. Evidently taking her time to assess the situation, the girl gently pats down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Whoa, look at those eyes! Hello there, may I help you? Staring directly in front of her, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among foreigners I met, she's strikingly distinct. So I'm a tall person, and I like people to be like at my height, you know. So this one's looking. I don't know if this game is going to turn into a dating game. I'm just expecting it because of Doki Doki, but oops. Hi, sorry for intruding. I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks? I slowly step forward another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling that and the slight cloudiness to her eyes means she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese? As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so different from the student council office. I take it you're the new student to Yamaku? Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get this distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. One which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Lily Satu. Pleased to meet you. Hisao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without any words, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see her around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offerer preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library? Shizune and some classmates told me it was this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it had been stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room with Mutu. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. Is that me? As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person. Same. I am. But this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. I can also have tea, though, as well. Like, I think it's like during the winter months where I like tea more for some reason. Like, I've been having tea recently as well. As well as coffee. Nonetheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Satu. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please, there's no need to be too formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So, which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and it's specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I see. Got it. I feel like slapping myself with a faux pas. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem in the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your... there's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure, sorry. I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I segu into another? I never heard of segu. I heard segue. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of a place behind my school that I'd like to have lunch at. No, yeah. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune is blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunch times, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, those such as the art and music clubs. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. So I'm just going to have a drink here. I wonder if this school shares the same rule as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Good, that's a relief. I've really let down my guard around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. Oh, she starts smiling. Oh, that's cute. Why is this happening? As I look over to the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has a distinctly orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Huh, time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seemed to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of time too. Sorry, Hisao, I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to allay her concern. Oh, no, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seems likely to know in any case. True, it's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you to where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it all right. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me, which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's all right. I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great, thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes a hold of a straight, retractable cane that had been slipped in the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, where Lily's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers. We walk slowly through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to the warm-looking room, apparently situated in the centre of the floor rather than the either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is a wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with a distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. There don't seem to be a lot of students here, considering the time. It isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says it to the thin air, since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Ooh. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quite quiet wail. Aww. The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and pounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lily. How can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk, and while I was looking for a pencil dropped. And when I was looking for both of them, then you came and surprised me. Are you all right? I'm sorry I couldn't know. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies. almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look, she seems to fit a library perfectly. Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the 2 imported books that arrived? Right, they finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but... Amidst her celebrations, partially for managing to change the subject, I'm sure, she notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh, no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she can so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me, Yuko. This is Hisao, a new student. Hisao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hisao, right, Hisao. Pleased to meet you too, Hisao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hisao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. How it's any responsibility at all, I don't get, but her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. But... So, there are a lot of books in Braille here. I attempt to save the day by asking them the first thing that pops into my head. It looks to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to, not exactly relax, but at least looks slightly less tense. Well, I think about 1/3 or 1/4 of Yamaku's library is either in Braille or audio. Makes sense, given all the blind students that be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. They spend more on new books on my salary, and then I have to organize and shelve them all. It's so troublesome, and they waste so much. I wish I could quit this job. A very awkward silence follows the revelation of too much information. I'll go check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for us all if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would have those books if it's alright with you. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I studied the spines of the books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choice in here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and Braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is, a library. It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily and snuck with us in here. Lily and snuck with us in here, unless it wasn't here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks set up for study or personal reading. Going a little bit further though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has the odd student sitting at a desk either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting in one of the several beanbags. Yes, it's the dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's reading really into it. From the way she was acting today, I even noticed the music's changed. I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious appearance from the class raises all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely towards the surface, and before I know it, I'm walking towards the mysterious long-haired girl. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. The girl starts, looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see that part of her face, at least 1/3, if not half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet her own eyes. For a second I am shocked and divert my eyes to the book in her hands, before I realise that looking away probably only makes it worse, sorry. If it takes too many seconds to collect myself and remember why I walked up... It takes too many seconds to collect myself and remember why I walked up to her. Hi, I'm new here. Hisao Nakai, we're in the same class. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start with you. We're actually gonna... This is the end of episode 3, guys. We're just about to get to know this girl. Right, I've been really interested in her, like, what her story is and stuff. She seems quite unique. Ooh. What? Yeah, but yeah, I hope you liked the episode, guys. If you do, give it a like and give it a share and comment and let me know what other like visual novels there are that I can try out after this one, and let me, yeah, just give me feedback, negative or, you know, positive. I don't mind. Alright, yeah, so I will see you tomorrow for episode 4 of Katawa Shoujo. I have been Al, and now I am out. Bye.